Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. The government is still shut down. This is the longest shutdown, federal government shutdown in history. And I'm here to do a quick Q&A as I am just days away from my fitness show. So there are talks that the government may reopen soon. There are talks about extending the budget for it to go longer so we don't end up in this situation in just a few months. Here's what I know. Whether the government is open, regardless of who's president, if you are interested in going after contracts, they are available. There are some departments that are hard to get a hold of or may not have people available, like, of course, travel, sam.gov. This is really a lesson in patience. Detroit Lions, big win today. Big win. They're the greatest. Hello, everyone. Hello. So, thank you for the nice compliments. So, when it comes to where we are, a great point just came up. What about if you submitted invoices? Well, one thing that's really important is client relations. You should have the cell phone number of the people who are involved. Everyone who's involved should have already been aware of your invoices. So if you're in a situation where none of that happened, then you're going to have to wait. So these are learning taxes, is what we're dealing with. Whenever you win a contract, whether it's state, local, federal, it could be with anyone, right? It could be with YouTube, Google. You want to discuss who's involved with payment. How do I do on the document? It says I upload it to Pi, IPP. I email it. I just want to confirm that. Also, who else is involved? Who else do I need to send an invoice to? And this is very common. I mean, we had an agency that didn't pay us for over 3 months and they owed us 6 figures. So with all of that said, this is a time to practice patience. And then the next time, just be aware and have these kind of discussions. There are thousands of opportunities right now. And there are also thousands of reasons to say and to choose not to do this. If you need a little extra boost, winnerswaybook.com. I have over 800 videos because of y'all. We have a silver play button. What's up, everybody, for joining? When it comes to how to proceed, so very soon the government will reopen. But all involved understand that this is a big political game, and midterm elections, anytime, are going to set a precedent. So that's a year from the date of this recording. So when the midterm elections happen, that's really going to impact what and how things kind of run with government contracting. So until then, this is a great time to go after sources sought. If you know what they are, type yes. This is a great time to finalize your capability statement. This is an amazing opportunity to learn and apply. Start going on sam.gov. Look at opportunities. Invest in yourself if that's what you want to. Look to see what are different state and local opportunities. That's what this is. It is a time to embrace the forced pause. Because some of you really don't want a contract. You think this is the answer. And it's not. I'm not going to BS you and say the answer to every single one of your desires in life is government contracting. I'm not going to do that. Is it a beautiful option? Of course. Do you have to have experience? No. Do you have to have a website? No. Do you have to be registered or live in the United States? You do not. But it does not mean it is for everyone. This is a space for somebody who is coachable, people who want to apply what they're learning, people who are after a win. That's what this is about. So when we have a shutdown, what typically will happen is then it's up, see, and then it's used to fuel excuses. We're here to elevate and to fuel our goals and our desires. And if government contracting is not that, you can subcontract, you can work for a government contractor, you can apply to work for the federal government or a state or local organization. So please keep all of these things in mind. For those of you who are interested in getting a cage code starting at the very beginning, it may take a little longer with things going on with the government being shut down. Does that mean you should just throw up your hands and give up? Of course not. Things will start to change. Things will start to change. Yeah, 100. There's a question, and please feel free to share questions. There's a question of 100,000 worth of contracts first year. Is that a good start? My question in response to you is, what is your goal? People will throw out numbers and ask, like, oh, I need to know the profit. I need somebody to break this down. Is $100,000 enough? I don't know. To Elon Musk, the answer would be no. But for maybe you or others here, the answer might be like, wow, that's more than enough. You know, the average income in the United States is like less than $60,000. In some places, it's way less than that. Might be 30,000 for an individual. So can you win $100,000 in contracts like that? Yes. Can you win $1 million out of the gate? Yes. I've interviewed people time and time again. And don't worry, Miguel, you'll have your cage code soon. It's about what are your goals and dreams? What are your desires? Okay, so they reached a deal. Okay, good. Well, they didn't, but they have to vote though. So Comanche, they got to vote. So we'll see. They said they're going to pass it tonight. So let's make sure that that happens. So this is perfect timing, right? So now you got to push out all those excuses. Oh, the government shut down. Not anymore. Not very soon. Because remember, they have to vote. Like, I don't, it's kind of like I'm a bill. So thank you for the heads up that they have an agreement. And so here's what you also want to really hone in on is it says some agencies are funded until January. There's supposed to be a vote in December. So this could happen again, which I've talked about. If you follow me, I go live on TikTok, on Instagram sometimes, but TikTok, I go live here. This is not like a one and done. This is not when you order some fries and there's an onion ring. This is not that. This is a political tool. So be prepared. This could happen again very soon. Okay, Natasha, I'm aiming for 200. Of course. I love that. And Kamachi, thank you again. All of you, there's no reason you can't win a $100,000 contract between now and the end of the year. There's no reason you can't at all. There's no reason. How do I know this? Well, the government is buying a lot of snow removal, lawn maintenance, HVAC. You know, we not all of us live in a place where there's a thing called snow, right? So there's many of us who don't live in those type of places. There's no shortage of contracts. So we have a contract with the FDA, and we were considered to like high priority. So we kept going on. Oh, well, thank you for the kind words. So our contract didn't stop. I'm prepping for a show. I am low energy, very hungry, and I'm super tired. So, but I want to be able to give and answer your questions. Whew, the government shutdown should be ended by tomorrow. So here's some ways forward, right? As this comes to an end. That is, you want to go after agencies that are not political. I would be very cautious around Department of Health and Human Services. I would be very cautious about aviation because the focus is going to be on air traffic control, TSA, pilots, DI, all of that. The recent situation with FedEx, that's or UPS with the situation that happened. So the last thing you want to do is get intertwined in that. It's best to go after agencies like USDA, FDA, thank you, UPS, the Department of Defense, weird agencies, Department of Interior. Those are the type of places you want to go. And make sure you go after opportunities that are not politically charged. That is so key. So key, y'all. So what's going to happen when you get your first win? When you get that message that says, Natasha, you won. Robin, you won. Miguel, you won. Kamachi, you won. Yusuf, you won again. Get with Mason, you won. Okay, you're going to celebrate. Are you in a position to fund the opportunity? Are these discussions that you are aware that should be had on the onset? And this is not, I'm not poking anybody in the eye or anything like that, y'all. I just want to really, I just really want to have these kind of conversations because every month I don't really know what to do. I need money for this. Is it going to be bad if I don't give it, if I give it back? Oh, this was a bad contract. Like there's all these things in this energy. And I want us to be elevated and very, ooh, look at getting those arm muscles in there. Okay, okay, cool. So Miguel is ready. See what I'm saying is like, got that wash machine mentality. I got it. I like it. I like that. So what's key is you have to also have a plan for when you win. You have to have a kickoff call. Meet with them. Talk to your vendors. Alexa, stop. Arrange everything. Okay. So these are things to take in consideration so that they want to do more work with you. When you have a kickoff call, it's always ideal. Oh, I was like, what was that sound? It's ideal to, yeah, to having it. First off, I wouldn't have my vendor on it unless you have a really good relationship with them. So you want to have an agenda, and you're to clarify roles and responsibilities. Please heart, share, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Check out winnerswaybook.com. If you want to book a call with my team, findcontractsfaster.com, findcontractsfaster.com. You want to identify roles and responsibilities, share information. Hey, do you need to reach me? Here's my number. Boom. That's awesome. And then what you also want to do is go through, here's a requirement. I am to deliver porta potties. I am to change out the HVAC. I am to staff this person. Is this still what you need? By these dates, who should I contact? You want to go through all of that. And then decide your communication cadence, cover invoicing. Thank you. That's pretty much it. And then you also want to touch base with if you're contracting it out, you want to have a conversation with your subcontractor. Reaching out to contracting officers in this political climate, I wouldn't do. Small business reps, yes, but it's better just to go on sam.gov and bid. Unless there's a goal behind it. Like there's the goal. If the goal is, I just want them to get to know me, I would still say small business rep, because the contracting officer is just executing orders. And they're going to be really busy. When everybody comes back from the shutdown, they're going to be busy. The last thing they want is, they ain't got time for that. They have things that they have to do. There's contracts they need to execute, invoices that they need to approve. Depends on the purpose of an industry day. So let's talk a little bit about networking. If you have any more questions, y'all let me know. I'm in the middle of preparing for, it's called FMG. It's this show in Vegas. So I'm a little low energy, a little tired. And so I want to talk about this whole notion of like calling contracting officers, networking. People talk a lot about it a lot. I tend to find it's people who have never won work, or they won once and now they're an expert. It would be like I start dribbling a basketball and I'm teaching you how to shoot, or you can buy my child rearing class and I've never had children. No, that's all crazy and ridiculous. So let's go into this. So when it comes to industry days, networking events, so industry days could vary. At the federal level, sometimes the intent is for you to talk to them about a particular opportunity, and they may limit it to the type of questions. Sometimes industry days are kind of like site visits, but a little different, where the buyers might be there, industry is there, and there's supposed to be a dialogue. Sometimes industry days are more of, hey, learn about our organization. Here's what we may be buying, may not be buying, and we get to learn about you. I know that there's one in California. They used to hold them in Orlando. I'm not sure if they're still really doing that, because at the same time, this administration is saying, we need to review, we're using Doge. So they're not exactly advertising everything. They're not using forecasts like they did in the past. So when it comes to an industry day, it goes back to, what are your goals? and I'll talk more about this on my second channel, is I use green stickies, and I put my goals on my green stickies and I post it up. What's your point of going? What's the reason to go? If you want to win a contract, go to sam.gov and you bid. Insurance is only needed if they state that it's needed. So Natasha and others, you just have to go into the opportunity and see if it's listed. Sometimes these networking events and these industry days, it makes us feel good. It's like getting a gym membership. Ooh, I got a gym membership. Okay, most of the people who have gym memberships don't go. So you go to the industry day and it feels really good, and then what? Unless the goal is, oh, I'm going to the industry day, like one of my success coaches goes to events to find potential subs. That's why they go. But they go to all different type of events, and most of the events are not connected to the government because your subs aren't going to be at government events necessarily. And this is great, Kiki. So for all of you who are learning and you're new, check out winnerswaybook.com, winnerswaybook.com. I have a lot more offerings, a lot things coming up. Also, you're going to see me a lot on kizzyparks.2. Kizzy Parks, my second channel. If you're down for that, cool. If you're not, that's cool too. But I just know this much, right? That's what I'm saying. The fastest way to win a government contract is to get through your mind, to get out of your head. When you believe and know you're supposed to win, then you will. When it's, oh, I need to call somebody, I need to attend this event, I need to do, and I need, okay, well then maybe when we have our first robot president, you'll get a contract. It's not to be, again, this is just to bring levity in a weird way, but also so you know what is the real situation. Is it fear? What is holding you back? What's up, Stephanie? I know, that's right. Super Bowl champs. It is some tough love. Because at the end of the day, this is business. This is business. We're not just hanging out like talking about PTA. This is business. So if you want to win a contract, business legally registered, cage code, physical address, get the cage code, and you start bidding. It's really as simple as that. When I read comments like, been trying to start, I don't really know. I need somebody to really explain it to me in depth. There's a lot of BS, but they like, basically they're like, they need help, but some stuff doesn't explain to them well. I'm reading comments that I get from my text group, comments in my DMs. How to find subs, how to find RFQs, how do you bid, how do you get started, analysis paralysis. There is a solution. It's just all based on how fast you want to get to your goal. How fast you want to get to your goal. Yes, Ricky, and the government will probably be open in the morning. It looks like they're voting tonight. I'm on Politico. This was posted almost 2 hours ago. They've reached a deal. And they were going to vote this evening. The Senate is poised to vote later Sunday night. But it still needs to pass the House. So we'll see, but Okay. Yes, you can still bid, and I would still keep bidding. And based on what they've reported, the vote would pave the way for consideration later this week of a legislation package that would fund, get ready, Department of Agriculture, FDA, Department of Veterans Affairs, and military construction projects and the operation of Congress for the full fiscal year, the product of months of bipartisan negotiations, etc. So if that comes to pass, then where should you focus? On the agencies who are funded. That's where you want to focus. USDA, FDA, Department of Veterans Affairs, military. And that's what I said. I've talked about this time and time again. Don't go after the things that are controversial. It doesn't matter if that's your wheelhouse or you love doing it. Either put it aside, don't do it, do something else, or be a little different. Like my hair. Be a little different. Yeah, you got to keep winning. You got to keep bidding. And what's important is you are able to execute the opportunity. That's what's key. You can execute the opportunity. And you have the funding for the opportunity. That's what's also important. So what are you all interested in bidding on? What are some things that you're looking to bid on immediately? I know we have porta potties, lawn maintenance. Right. Lydia, I would say in the next couple of days. Okay, office rental and real estate. I would go after USDA and I would go after agencies other than GSA to see what kind of office space they need. And I would look into reselling hotel rooms. When it comes to paper shredding, you're going to have to go really low or do a man in a truck and you got a shredder in there yourself because you're going to be competing against companies. And when you get a price quote, they're going to triple it and you're going to lose every time. So for cleaning contracts, Kiki, you're going to end up outsourcing. So let's say the cleaning contract is here in Florida. You would win it. You would end up bidding at a rate to give you the profit that you want, but you wouldn't do the work. You would 1099, not always, depending on the contract, you would 1099 or have part-time people doing the work. So you have to be okay with you're not doing the work. You're not making the burger, putting the fries in the thing and dropping it. You're not doing all that. Transportation and courier. VA, Department of Veterans Affairs, they have a ton of those types of opportunities. Are you veteran owned? So Comanche, what happened? What do you mean currently impacted? So they didn't consider you critical? It seems like there's more to it. You know, would love to hear more. Kiki, I don't do like one-on-one go to find. Okay, so as a veteran, you're going to want to bid on everything that the VA releases that's of interest. And you really need to get to know them. This is where you network. This is where you want them to get to know you. Findcontractsfaster.com. That's to book a call with my team. We have a variety of paid offerings if that's for you or not. Okay, I'm not sure about surface pretreatment chemicals, if that's something they really need to buy. Not sure about that. But I'm glad you mentioned it. Joseph, there's a lot of fire alarm testing and things like that. Again, you would bid on it and outsource it. Yes. Pixel, they tend to have a preference for SDVOSB, but not always. But yes, especially if you are a SDVOSB or VOSB, you should definitely bid on those. And Sosa, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. My show is coming up. My show is coming up, y'all. And my show is coming up. So I'm just here. I'm gonna take a couple more questions because I'm ready to go to bed. I'm low calorie, doing the thing. How many of you are registered in Unison? Okay, so journey to ya or journey to yay. You want to make sure that you bid on these opportunities, you get really good price quotes, and be prepared to manage from afar. That's another big piece of this is you have to be prepared to manage from afar. Keep in mind the government will probably reopen in the next couple of days unless something goes super sideways. Sam, you got to find that they have a need for that. So you got to find that they're buying that. When it comes to business, it's are people buying it? So take like really ethnic food. So there's this food guy I follow. He's so good. And he's in England and he just had, I think, Afghan food. And to me, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He's in London. It's a major city. Just like if you're in DC, you're in maybe Chicago, LA, a major city having diverse food. It makes sense. And especially if you have the population, like Ethiopian food in DC, Ethiopian food in Minnesota. We're here in Miami Beach. I mean, if it's an amazing Ethiopian place or Afghan place, I guess, but it's not really what the market desires. The market here wants burgers, fries, pizza. We have Mexican, of course, Cuban, but people want variety. We don't really have a lot of Chinese food here. That's not really big. We do have a ton of sushi. So you have to give what the market wants. So if the market doesn't want what you're offering, then you have to decide, are you going to open an ethnic food restaurant just because, or you're going to say, no, I'm going to open up a burger and fries place because that's what everybody wants. Thank you so much, Black Beauty. That's so sweet of you to say. Like today, I went to this place in Wynwood and I walked by, I think it's called Joey's Pizza. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many pizza places here. Like Miami Beach. I think the other day I walked, because I do over 10,000 steps a day. I probably walked by almost at least 5, maybe 10. So no market is saturated, because that's the other thing. Oh, it's saturated. No, that's just an excuse. It's an excuse. We're done with excuses. Just own up. I don't want to do it. Okay. Where we are and where we are going, especially with this channel, is about being honest with ourselves. There was a long time when I wasn't honest with myself. All of that has changed. Has changed. Thank you, Ben. So I want us all to be at this place of just beautiful grounding and this place of knowing the government will reopen soon. If they go forward what they stated, USDA, FDA, Department of Veterans Affairs, some defense agencies, and they will be fully funded. So you want to focus there. For those of you that are having trials and tribulations with ongoing work, you have to ask yourself, why? Why are you having the issue? Because the reason is not them. It's right here. How do I know? Because it happened to me. Anytime there was a situation with the contract, it had nothing to do with the president, the day, the month, the state government shut down, not shut down. I've been in this space since the Bush 2 administration. It was always me, never my team. It was always me. I'm the owner. When you are the owner and your name, I have them over there because that's going to be part of a really high ticket YouTube membership group. So y'all get ready. When you have your name on that contract, you are responsible. What other questions y'all have? I'm going to cut away here. I'm very excited about this fitness show. It's going to be my last contest in this body. I'm very excited. I am equally excited for what's to come. There's no reason. If you want to win a contract before the end of the calendar year, type yes. There's no reason you can't. There's no reason you won't. There's no reason you can't. There's no reason you won't. There's no reason you can't. There's no reason you won't. So then you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up to win? That's it. Like, as I'm on this fitness journey, I walk over 10,000 steps. There's certain foods I don't eat. Am I perfect? No. Nobody's asking for perfection. Nobody's asking you to do something weird. All it is what are you going to give up? So for me, okay, I'm not watching a bunch of stuff. I'm in a warm environment so I can walk. I've altered my time. There are things I've done to prepare myself for this fitness show because it's for fun. And that's the other piece. What is your goal? What is the purpose? Okay, you're going to. Yes, Tony. Yes, everyone. Yes, Kiki, Ben, Journey, and more. You're going to win one. So then write it down and put it up. So for me with this fitness show, it's for fun. I'm not going to try to get a pro card or something. I have extra skin from being over 300 pounds, being about, highest documented weight was 277. I know what I look like. I'm doing for fun. Okay, good, Tony. So if you know, hey, my goal is to win a contract, boom, that's where your energy should go. Okay, let me go. Senate reached bipartisan deal to reopen government after 40-day shutdown. Awesome. Perfect. This is great news. So now the excuses are gone. It's like summertime. You got to get to it. So what's going to get you over the edge? What is that? So we know, go after USDA, FDA, Veterans Affairs. If you're SDVOSB, you should be knocking on all of their doors all of the time, knocking. Okay? You guys are amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you. So before you go into, keep in mind, Yes, you want to bid, learn, apply, adjust, execute. Everything is possible. Keep in mind, you want to give everybody patience. Some people have been out of work for 40 days, and then now it's like you got to potentially go back to work on Monday. They're going to be like, what? You know, I know people are going to be very excited to get paid. So this is a time of patience, a time of gratitude. This is a time of refilling your cup and being patient with them. The government, I mean, it seems, so there's a question about call centers. It seems like somebody online was talking about call centers in the federal government. I suspect this person was probably a scammer. I'm just being blunt. I mean, I don't know who they weren't, but there was like this influx of people in my free Facebook group asking about call centers. It was very weird. So let me talk about call centers. The federal government has some contracts where they outsource. They'll outsource call center work. Sometimes you have to have experience with the federal government. Sometimes they'll just take whatever experience that they're looking for. It's about, you got to go to see if they need them. It's not like burgers. We, the people in the United States, like burgers, Mexican, and pizza. We do. Is the federal government like, we just need more call centers? I don't know about that. You see what I mean? So you want to make sure that you go on sam.gov, you go on Unison, you go on Fed Connect, you go on all of these places and you look to see, what are they buying? What have they bought in the past? And look to see who has these contracts, Journey. Look to see who has the call center contracts. Get to know them. See if you can sub to them. That's what it's all about, y'all. That's it. Okay, if you see a ton of them, maybe more at the state and local, but at the federal, bid on them, y'all. Go after what speaks to you. This is your business. It's your business, okay? So winnerswaybook.com, government will be reopened soon, which is great. And take this as a learning, especially those of you waiting for, I have a free download for you guys too, and more. Those of you who are waiting for invoices, this is the time to hone in on your client relation skills. For those of you who want your first win, there's no reason you won't win. I look forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks. Everything is possible. Don't forget that, okay? Take care, y'all. winnerswaybook.com, findcontractsfaster.com. Book a call with my team, findcontractsfaster.com. Take care, you guys. Bye.